Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mi Casa es Su Casa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow $1 campaign, where you donate $1 to any of your top 5 political journalists. This is a campaign that myself, Tim Black, Howard Bastard, and H.A. Goodman have started to prove to the establishment that we no longer need them. And obviously, they've been doing a good job over the last couple of weeks proving to us why we don't need them. And we need to shift our support to independent media, the people who are going to bring you the truth, whether it's left-leaning or right-leaning, as long as it's objective. So, with that being said, I think I am ready to make my call, just given everything I've seen. I'm here today to tell you that I 100% believe that Bernie Sanders is going to be running for president in 2020. And there are a few reasons why I believe this. Well, I think the first thing that people should realize about Bernie Sanders' career is that he has never lost office and stopped running for it. He's always ran multiple times. He's never only ran once. Whether it was when he ran for mayor, or whether it was when he ran for the House or even the Senate. He never runs and then quits. It's never been his thing. Secondly, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, the man has put himself out there every single day for the entirety of the post-election presidency of Donald Trump. And he's been fighting against the Republicans. He's even been calling out the Democrats. It's what we're seeing right now from other Democrats. So the more that Bernie puts himself out there, you start seeing people like Cory Booker. Y'all have some interesting nicknames for him. I'm not going to repeat, but you see people like Cory Booker going out and giving these passionate speeches about healthcare and it's a right, even though we know he doesn't believe it's a right. He's completely and totally beholden to the pharmaceutical industry. And then you have, Debbie Wasserman Schultz is all of a sudden tweeting again, and you start seeing the attacks, the unwarranted attacks come out of nowhere, where Jane had something happen at Burlington College which may have warranted an investigation, but the investigation hasn't even been confirmed by the FBI. Neither has Bernie Sanders been tied directly to it, but they're saying that it's Bernie Sanders' investigation because they're trying to get people to think that he is a quote-unquote fraud. People think that he sold out and all this. They think all this is connected to his house that he got because Jane Sanders inherited a house from her parents and from her family and sold it, and they bought a house. Like, Bernie Sanders was pretty well off. He was fine before. So I don't know. And if he wanted to cheat out for money, if he wanted to cheat for money, 74 years old probably wouldn't be the time to do it. But I digress. You also have the fact that he's been avidly pushing for single payer. He's been rapidly introducing legislation. The one we can think about the pharmaceutical legislation that he pushed that Cory Booker voted against and 13 other Democrats voted against. We can look at the People's Summit, how we started the Sanders Institute with Jane Sanders, him getting rid of Jeff Weaver at the front of Our Revolution, putting in Nina Turner, the Unity Tour, which is actually a huge clue. I think that people should be looking at, because a lot of people got upset about the Unity Tour and the fact that Bernie Sanders had given $100,000 to the DNC, but people weren't reading between the lines. First of all, this is a FEC transfer, or a FEC regulated transfer, as in it was something that was like mandatory. And for those of you who don't know, this is something that he had to do. The last time that he made a misstep of like $1,000 on his FEC reports, the media shredded him. But nonetheless, I was okay with it after I actually dug into the story, because once you realize that this wasn't an FEC transfer from his senatorial campaign, ladies and gentlemen. This was an FEC transfer from his presidential campaign. That's was a huge clue. Now, why would he transfer from his presidential campaign? I mean, he didn't have to do it from there, But you know how FEC rules are, they're very specific. Depending on what you're spending your money on, depends on how you should file it. And he transferred it from his presidential campaign. Take that, as you will, but I'm pretty sure I know what that means. The rampant attacks, Democrats kind of shying away from Bernie Sanders, even though he's still on the committees, he's still pushing for single payer, but they're trying to change the narrative. They're trying to pretend like they're the ones who've been out in front of healthcare, but it hasn't been them. It's been Bernie. It's just a lot that's kind of come into play that is showing me, especially recently with this Jane Sanders situation. I think somebody else either has gotten word of it or they've been seeing what I'm seeing, and that's the patterns of people right before they're about to run for office. We saw this pattern with Obama. It happened with Clinton. It happened, well, not necessarily with Trump, but it did happen with Jeb on that side of the fence. It happened with Ted Cruz on that side of the fence. It happened with Marco Rubio. Whenever people start to kind of like put themselves in a position to run for presidency, they start becoming extra visible out of nowhere. They start giving speeches at the DNC convention, like Cory Booker did, like Obama did. So there are, big clues out there that kind of let us know, hey, there's something big about to go down. And I think another key instance of that is how Bernie Sanders has been towing the line on issues that he normally doesn't toe the line with the Russia situation that I vehemently disagree with. As far as his position, I don't even like the fact that he even says, "Oh, there should be an investigation," because there's no warrant for it. But I think he's playing strategy. He's not. Notice though, he's saying, "Oh, there should be an investigation," but he's not on any of the investigative committees. He hasn't given a speech in Congress talking about the investigation, or in the Senate talking about this. With Assad, same thing. He'll say something that I completely and totally disagree with. However, what he'll also say is, "Oh, I won't go to war." So now I know what's undeniably about to come next, because I know how you all are. We can't, Bernie's a traitor, he's a fraud, he's And like I said, there's a lot that I disagree with, a lot of actions that I disagree with when it comes to Bernie Sanders as far as his recent, or at least rhetoric, not his actions, but his rhetoric. But it's time to get down to business. And when I say that, I mean, we need to really think about what we're talking about here. Because you cannot like Bernie, and that's cool. You can be really heartbroken about what happened during the primaries, and that's fantastic. But we need to get down to reality. No one else is pushing to get you single-payer health care. No one else is pushing for election reform. No one else is telling you to stay out of war with Russia. None of the Democrats anyway. No one else is telling you to stay out of war in the Middle East in general, especially in Syria, because even though Bernie did say he doesn't like Assad, he also said that we don't need to be in Syria. No one else is out on the front lines for you every single day. But most importantly, no one else has the clout and the system already in place to take on the establishment if they were to win office, because we would likely see with anybody else a situation where we would see with Obama, which Obama was wet behind the ears when he got in office, and I think he deeply underestimated what he was dealing with. I think Bernie deeply underestimated what he was dealing with when he decided to run against Hillary Clinton. But no one else is going to fight for Wall Street regulations. No one else is going to fight to get rid of Citizens United. No one else can do what we need Bernie Sanders to do. I completely understand where the animus is. But for those of you who are, I understand, like I said, I totally understand why you cannot like him, why you could be upset with him. He's not talking about election fraud enough. But also, I think that there's a time and a place. I think there is an element of strategy to what he is doing. He's letting the people fight, and he's going to capitalize, because that's what he told us the entirety of his election or his run. Is that we need to be the ones. He can't win without us. He even, like I said, at the People's Summit, as we were chanting Bernie, he is like, "It's not about me. Stop saying that." So I don't know if you all understand this whole thing about sheep herding, because I feel like y'all keep saying that, and I don't think you understand how sheep herding in politics works. You don't attack a sheep herder, okay? Cory Booker is a sheep herder. Even Al Gore to an extent. Barack Obama was a sheep herder. Michelle Obama in the at the end of Barack Obama's presidency was a sheep herder. The sheep herders, they make it seem, Elizabeth Warren is the classic definition of a sheep herder. What sheep herders are, they're these untouchable politicians. At least they're untouchable in the eyes of the general public who don't do enough research on them. And the party bolsters them and then has them round people up. However, what they don't do is attack. They don't send their journalist watchdogs or their media dogs on those people. When you are seeing constant attacks over and over and over and over and over and over and over again on Bernie Sanders, that doesn't work. Because the only reason you need a unity tour is because of what they did during the election. Essentially pretend as if they're acting even-handedly, then they got caught, and then we figured out they were colluding with the media. Like, you don't collude with the media for a sheep herder. That's not what you do. So I understand that people are upset and they want to, be. I think that it's okay to be upset, but we need to make that that anger. We need to make it productive, because if you're just shouting out things because you're like viscerally shouting out things because you saw them once on a media article or Medium article, or you saw it because somebody was upset and they're saying what you feel, but that's not the reality. The reality is, if you've been doing this long enough, you know what a sheep herder is, and the way that they treated Bernie Sanders is not what they do to their quote unquote sheep herders. Okay, on the GOP side, Paul Ryan is a sheep herder. Okay, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, those are sheep herders. You don't see them attacking their sheep herders. Okay, I get it, but I get it. I understand. Trust me, I'm one of the ones who created this lawsuit. I get why you're upset, but let's be realistic. And if you want to be mad at Bernie while he's in office and hold him accountable at every step of the way, that's fan-freaking-tastic. I hope you do. But nobody else is introducing single-payer health care for you all right now. No one else is talking about ending war. No one else is talking about raising the minimum wage. Only Bernie Sanders is, as far as who's got potential to run. No one else. I know we want to be upset, but we need solutions, because the more we're losing our health, the more we're losing our income, the more we're losing our, just the things that make our lives easier every day so that we can be involved in politics, they're disappearing daily. And if you all really want to get rid of Trump, if you all really want to, start trying to chip a dent or chip something off the domination of the deep state, we have to start somewhere. Bernie has not been perfect, but neither has Jill Stein. Jill Stein hasn't been at least as far as the Russian rhetoric is concerned, she hasn't done the best on it either. And I love Jill. There's not any politician that has been perfect, but it's strategy. That's what they do. They're not going to say everything. You can't tell everything. But sweet Jesus, let's get it together. Because if he does run in 2020, what are you going to do? You're going to look at all the candidates once again. You're going to be like, left to right, right to left, and we're going to be back at stage one. So I'm not saying like if there's a better candidate, don't vote for them, because if that's the case, then vote for them. But I am saying, as of right now, there's no one else talking about single payer. I mean, yeah, Jill is, but we don't know if Jill's going to run again. We need solutions. That's what we need. And I always encourage the discourse, but it's got to go beyond, oh, he's a sheep herder. Oh, he complains, he says rhetoric about Russia. Yeah, if he really wanted a Russian investigation, once again, he would be on a committee to investigate it. Period. Okay? Like, it's strategy. He's echoing things, I know, but you all have to remember, once again, he's in a very unique situation where they could stop him from running for presidency because he is not officially registered as a Democrat because of the laws of Vermont. Okay? So with that being said, I'd love to hear your comments. Love to see your comments below. Like I said, please join our $1 campaign. And always remember, find your balance. Peace.